Hello, everyone, and welcome again to a collective card reading. And today I'm going to do something a little bit different. I'm going to actually use two different decks, the first and the second. And so this card reading is again for the collective. So if it does resonate with you, it's meant to. It's supposed to touch something in you and give you the guidance that you are looking for. And if you would like to do your own private reading with me, it's a 60-minute session. And if you're seeing this in real time or in the month of September, you are still eligible for the introductory rate of $30 for a full 60-minute reading. And so if you're interested in that, leave me a comment below, and I will also leave my website link in the details box. So, shall we get ready? The first card reading that I'm going to do is with these absolutely beautiful cards by the Angel Answers, and they are by Radleigh Valentine. So let's get started. So as I'm shuffling the cards, think in your mind of what the situation is that maybe you would like an answer to. And because the spirit knows, and the cards don't lie. So here I am. This is for everyone. As I said, it is for the collective. All right, Spirit, what do you have to say to the people today? And you. All right. So I am pretty excited here. So there ended up being 4 groups that ended up being pulled from this deck. Now, the first card that came up in the first group, this is the card that says, not the right time. So something that you are thinking about right now, something that may be weighing on your mind, whether you're wondering whether it is the best time to take that leap or the best time to move into a new career or to move to a new location. Now is not the right time. Just wait for just a little bit longer. There's something that has come up that you need to be aware of, and not that what you want isn't the right thing. There might be something that's coming even better or a different way or a different financial backing that is coming to you. So it's not saying no, and it's not saying yes to what you are holding out there and waiting for. It's just saying now is not the right time to make your move. The next group, now with these cards, they could be overarching to all of these different groupings, or it could be that each one is going to tell a different story, meaning to a different person. So as I said before, take what resonates and leave the rest behind. So this next group had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cards in it. So they have a lot to say. Just moving these over a little bit. Wow. Okay. Okay, so now it is very possible that this is maybe a continuation of the first card, which was not the right time. Because the one that followed up is there is something better. So that is something to keep in mind, is that something you're waiting on, or something that has been on your mind, something that you want to see, something that you were dreaming, and it could be you're not dreaming big enough, that there's something even better waiting for you. Now, in that same grouping and the very next card is no need to worry. So in the state that you are in the moment that you are in, and you're wondering, if I don't act right now, I'm going to lose it. Remember the first card of this set. There's something even better. And if you feel pressure, the idea is, Spirit is telling you, there's no need to worry. Something even better is coming along. It's also tasking you in this same group is to get more information. So what you have your heart set on, that job you're thinking about moving to, or the location you're moving to, if it's not all lining up, there's a reason why it's not lining up. And you're being asked to get more information, whether that means spend some time in prayer or meditation, or just spending some time just to think about it. But it's also asking you to dig a little bit deeper. If you're in the situation that something seems way too good, that means it probably is a little too good or a lot too good. Get your information. I'm getting the term buyer beware. I'm getting the term inside, buyer beware. Something isn't quite right. And following that, if you are listening and you've done the homework and you stayed back, this is your card of encouragement. Abundance. Meaning that what you want, it is coming for you in a much bigger, better way. And that your time will be, what you're waiting for will show up abundantly in your life. And if you look at kind of what she's holding, those could be gold coins, meaning financial abundance. But there's also this light that's going up here. And that is abundance for you personally. Abundance of peace. Abundance of a positive life. even better than what you could possibly have imagined. Once you're getting the information, that you don't need to actually worry about the situation, because the worrying is not going to help you. But the very first card in this grouping was that there is something better. So hold on a little bit, slow down, and see what's coming. Don't jump at the first offer. I have a really strong feeling that this is for somebody who is making or looking for the opportunity to move to a different location, to move in their job, whether it's a transfer, whether it's a whole new career. Just know that it's coming, but make sure you're checking all the facts. And the last card in this grouping is to also be assertive. Be assertive, meaning when you have questions from the information that you learned, don't be afraid to ask the questions. And Spirit is also prompting you. You need to ask the questions that you have. If something doesn't sound right, clarify it and be assertive about it. Not aggressive, but assertive. And you will have everything and more from what it was that you were looking for. Now the next grouping that came, it came in 2 cards. And I love this. This is just beautiful. It was look for a sign and big, happy changes. So the first one here is looking for your sign. And like I said, some of these just kind of overarch each other. And sometimes they're answering different questions to different people. And it's very possible that, and that's why I love so much about the collective reading, is that these same cards mean so many different things to so many different people. So look for your sign. If you have changes that you are making, you're standing there, Spirit is always available. Now, whether or not you pray to a source, you pray to God, look for the signs. Ask for the signs. If you're not sure, absolutely ask the Creator, ask God for those signs, and your angels and spirits will bring them to you. Absolutely. So look for your sign. They don't hide. You just have to see them. And in finding your sign, it's also showing you that big, happy changes are coming to you. Big, happy changes. Celebratory, meaning celebration, not celebratory. Celebrations are coming your way. Absolutely. That these changes, these are good changes. You are coming into something that is even more exciting, more spectacular. It'll be the right move for you. It'll be the right time for you. Absolutely. And go with gusto. When you see those signs and your nudges, know that those changes are already in the works, and they're going to be grander than you've ever imagined. The last card of this bundle, and this is interesting. This is very interesting, and again, can interlock with all of these incredible cards, is how, just be cautioned. This card is the unlikely card. Now that, again, kind of goes along with the beginning card of not the right time. This card is ending off with how you have imagined something. You're missing something, which means that the way that you have planned something, even if you have planned it right down to the absolute minute or the absolute to fine detail, Spirit is now telling you that all that planning, not that it wasn't for nothing, but to keep that open mind, because how you imagined it is not exactly how it's going to show up in your life. So what you're asking about, you're leaving something on the table. You're walking away from something that has incredible potential. Or you've closed off your mind to something that could absolutely be of benefit to you. So in your plans, leave room for inspiration and nudging and an open mind to what Spirit has for you. Because you're not going to do it all on your own. So just keep that in an open mind. I hope that some of that resonated with you. And as I said in the beginning, that it could all resonate with you, or bits and pieces could resonate with you. If it did, I would love to hear in the comments, which I do read absolutely personally. I would love to hear your reactions to these cards, and if they have changed your life in any way, or you have a particular reaction to them, I would love to hear that. I would absolutely love to know and hear how these readings affect you. Now, I did say that I was kind of going to do 2 readings in this one, because as I was unpacking my cards, both of these decks really shouted out to me. And usually this deck is usually pretty quiet. And this is the Past Lives from Doreen Virtue and Brian L. Weiss, MD. And so usually I use this particular deck typically in a lot of one-on-one readings. But they have something to say. So let's see. Okay. The first pile that kind of came out, interesting. Okay. So with the Past Lives deck, this is something I need to explain a little bit, is that usually this has information that has come up from previous lives that you have lived. And so it could be a strain, a thread, something that is just, it's been in you and you're not sure where it came from or why you feel that way. So the first group, so again, I got 3 groups. And the first section is about transportation, love life, and leaving or traveling. For somebody out there, all of a sudden I just got a wave of, like a wave of longing, a wave of sadness. The transportation is that somewhere, for someone in this life, in your life, you've always felt like you've been on a journey either to learn or a journey that you feel like you couldn't stay in one spot, or that you're always searching for something. And it involves you moving, and I mean long distance moving. You've been a traveler like your whole life, and you've been on many forms of early transportation, almost like you were at the beginning of a lot of these methods. And you've always you've been an experimenter, a pioneer, in the way that you've always had to leave wherever you were in order to see these things through. And because of that, you've had a very productive and but at the same time, unsatisfying love life. Because you have had to be very much a nomad, in that you don't get to stay where you are, which means you have had like 1,000 loves. And they're beautiful and passionate, but they're not sustaining. And you may find in your world right now, in this lifetime, is why you can't be satisfied with just the love commitment. You feel like you need to move on. And maybe that is something that you are battling within yourself, is that in your past lives, you have loved and you've moved on, and you've loved and you've moved on. With each new adventure, you've loved greatly, but you've moved on. And you may find yourself that somewhere in this is that you want to love, but you want to stay. And because you don't know how to do the staying part. And the third card, which makes so much sense, is the leaving or traveling. As I said at the beginning, is that you were a traveler. You were an adventurer. And you were always like the first to go on these pioneer adventures. And because in your heart and in your lifetimes, past lifetimes, you've done a lot of leaving and you've done so much traveling that is affecting you now as you want to stay. But there's a part of you that says, it's time to go again. It's time to go again. And you may be struggling with the staying part. So I invite you to visit that. And if that rings true to you, that might be one of the keys to having that relationship work, is because you don't feel like you need to keep going and moving on, especially if it's something that you find is worth here to stay. So the next one is a single card. And this is the Celtic cross, which usually means something along the Irish. And it might be something, I'm getting the feeling of history, the past. You're longing to know your roots. And you're wondering whether or not a trip back into your history is something you want to open up and learn more about. You may have found out that you have Irish links. And maybe it's something that's a part of you that nobody talks about. Or it could be just an identity that you want to know about. And there's a message in the past that you need to learn, and I encourage you to go find it, because it's something that is burning deep inside of you. And you don't have to explain it to someone else. You don't have to explain it. Maybe even some family members are wondering, like, why do you want to dig into that? Why do you want to go back into that history? But if it is calling you, it's because there's a serious, beautiful message in there. So I encourage you to follow that line. Follow where it is you're supposed to go. And the last two, very interestingly, is the scribe or writer and the medicine man or the medicine woman. These ones, I'm going to tackle this one here first, the scribe or the writer. They're both very close. When I picked them up, they were hand in hand as they appeared. Is that you spent, there's someone out there that just feels really very drawn to the natural and native medicine woman and or medicine man studies, and you feel like you have knowledge within you. You have no idea where that came from or why you're so in tune with it. Well, there's part of your answer. And it is something that you knew years and lifetimes ago. Not years ago, lifetimes ago. Is that you were very involved in the spirit world. And that your history as a medicine man or a medicine woman, you carried that through lifetimes. And when you weren't in that role, somehow you knew these were things that needed to be written down, that you needed to write, explain, and support those who were doing that work in that other lifetime. You used your words to mark these things and to support and show support. And also because you remembered stories that may have just come to you in dreams. And that could be something that is happening in your life today. Is that you're wondering how you know this knowledge, that when someone shares it with you, when you read about it, you pick up a book and you're like, that is so true. And that will ring in a space that you have no idea where that came from. You have no proof today. You had never been a part of that. Or it might be something that you're coming to grips with right now. Is that you do know these things. You do support the different forms and being in nature and knowing, and you just know. And you want to dive in, and this is your sign. This is your sign to know that the information you want to know, that is deep within you. In the past years, in the past lifetimes, that is your sign. To just accept it, to embrace it, and be open to what is being shared with you now. So I want to thank you very much for listening to this reading. And if you would like to have your own private 60-minute reading, I will leave the link in the description, and I welcome you to book your appointment with me. And again, if you're seeing this in the month of September of 2025, I still have my introductory rate of $30 for a full 60-minute reading. So that price will be changing soon. And so I encourage you to get in on that introductory rate. If you enjoyed this video, please share it. Sharing is caring. And again, I hope you have a beautiful and blessed day. Thank you. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.